All right, guys, welcome to Slate. What we'll be doing across several videos is showing you the system end to end and showing you all the features and trying to explain it, but also show you this in person. So for the first video, what we wanted to do is really get to the core of it and show you the guest experience with our core product, which is our species display screens. The first thing I'll just talk about briefly, but we'll cover it in more detail in another video, is the screens themselves. So we supply not only the software, but also the hardware as well. Now, if you do have screens already and you're just looking to adapt the software into your screens, that's absolutely fine. We can look at the specs of your screens and just see if they'll natively work or if there's tweaks to the system to make them, work perfectly on your screens. The hardware we use, it's flexible to each particular job, depending on the size screen you want or the application, whether you're looking for a tabletop display or, mounted on a wall versus mounted on a post. So there's many options. We make them all from scratch per order, so we get a lot of flexibility. Some of the key things with the hardware, and this is up to you, but we typically use an anti-glare panel. So that you can, minimize any reflections, especially if you've got these, inside aquariums where you've got lots of opposing light from other exhibits as well. For the chips we use an Android chip, a high-powered chip used for 4K video processing and AI. What that gives us is a lot of control over some of the features and the animations and some of the interactive elements as well. While ensuring that you get a nice, smooth, fluid experience when you're operating this as a guest. So what I'll do first, and just for reference, this is a 24-inch panel, just so you can get an idea of the size. This is a good, common, standard size without getting, too large or too small. So first thing first, to explain the features a guest sees, on the left, you'll obviously see this fish swimming around. Now, the way this works is we use real-life images, and then we use some clever AI processing to really bring that animal to life. So whatever animal you have, you can also have this animated version rather than having a static image. Obviously, it displays some species information. Up here on the right, we're also displaying species information here, and there's some rotating, fact notes, which is quite cool. Up the top, really cool feature is we have different selectors for the type of language you want to read. So general, we've got kids, and then we even have an expert mode for our, real animal nerds that want to learn the real, scientific information and so on. We're obviously displaying conservation status as a big factor. And down here on our map, this is an interactive map. And what this enables us to do, we're loading data directly from RedList and ICUN. And so we've got heat maps of where these species typically occur, and there's even photos from my naturalist, so guests can navigate around the maps, maybe see where they live, and look at some photos of where they exist as well. So a really cool interactive feature there as well. Now, a big part of the system was ensuring we had accessibility for all of our guests. So there's several options which ensure that is possible. The first is language. So there's not a single language that we won't be covered for. So we can jump up here, we can switch it to Spanish, everything changes. Now, with everything on the system, we understand sometimes guests might interact with these screens, and you don't want them to get paused on the wrong thing that doesn't fit the rest of the audience. So everything is on a timer. It'll switch back to English, for example, or you can manually switch it back. We also have an accessibility contrast mode. So for any guest with eye impediments, this provides a high contrast mode as well for those. And then one of the others, which is, it's more of a feature, but certainly if sight is an issue for some guests, we also have an audio mode. So every single species has an audio soundtrack which tells you all about the animal. So I'll give you a little listen to one of those.
The copper-band butterfly fish glides elegantly through Indo-Pacific coral reefs, its bold copper-orange bands making it one of the...
So, as you can see, very realistic audio. Again, we're using some clever AI processing to create these audio tracks, but it gives a real good additional layer to the experience, and for guests to be able to, narrate each species is very cool. The one thing that I hadn't touched on yet, but with all of this, all of what you see here, you as a facility, if you have this system, you don't have to create any species. We've done all of that. What we'll be doing basically as we set up our, first few facilities, we'll grab your species list or work with you, and we will populate all of this information. So when you come in to set this up, you just simply need to select which screen and select the species. So very simple. If you obviously would like to have your own information, or you've got, maybe some countries that have different common names they use, or perhaps you don't agree with some of the information, so you would like to tweak that, no problem at all. You can duplicate a species and change it to your heart's content. Now, one thing you might have noticed as I'm interacting, but a very common complaint in these kind of experiences sometimes is it's moving too fast. I can't read the information quick enough. So very simple feature, but you simply hold your finger on the screen and it will pause the content. Same happens as we're interacting or listening to audio. Everything pauses as soon as you pop your finger on the screen. You'll also have seen that I'm steering around species. So if guests want to flick along to any species, they can do that. For your big exhibits where you've got lots of species, we also have a library, so you can just jump up here and select the species you want to jump to. One of the other features to show you, this QR code here. So this QR code will actually lead guests to a mobile view of everything you see here. So the entire experience you see here can appear in a mobile format. So that's really important for, if you've got a really busy day and you've got lots of guests crowding around the screens, this enables people to scan their phone and take it mobile. And it also allows you as a facility a little mobile connection to that guest. So once they leave the aquarium, they can stay connected. We'll be showing you this experience separately because it's a lot more than what I just described. Our entire mobile platform is a complete additional layer of experience on top of what you see here. Effectively, what we have created is similar to Pokemon Go as far as the ability to collect species and create a profile and go on quests and quizzes, and even unlocks full tank audio rather than individual species audio. So lots of cool features, but we'll definitely dive into that separately. Now, one of the next things, and one thing we acknowledged early on when building this system, is the two biggest things we wanted to achieve is one, a solution to species display screens that really brought this into the modern age, really opened up new opportunities for guests at the facilities. But the other factor that we said is it had to be profitable, because having software like this sounds great, but at some point there's got to be a way you've got to pay for it. So effectively what we have implemented into this entire system, which is controlled in the back end, is a marketing system. And it's a Canva style editor. And you can create a simple one is these little overlays. You'll see up here we've got today only, annual pass, scan for details. So you can create these all by yourself. We've created all the little design overlays. You just have to edit some of the information, change the color. We've got all sorts of different types. So we've got this type, we've got countdowns, we've got conservation banners that track conservation funding and percentages. This can all be linked back to your sales systems. And so we can use some really intelligent rule-based systems where effectively you might set that our penguin feeding experience is low bookings today, and the system will automatically know to advertise that particular discount that you've created across however you would like to control it. You might say, only display it on my penguin screen, or you might just say let's display it across all of the screens in the aquarium. So you can do that with an incredible amount of customization, however you see fit. If you use it at all is also obviously up to you. But yeah, when you think about the fact that if you have a screen at every single one of your enclosures or exhibits, you've suddenly got the ability to advertise to effectively every single guest in your aquarium, and not even randomly. You can do it based on experience number bookings. Maybe you've got a campaign that you've developed and you want to advertise that. So there's a lot of control there. And you will also have seen popping up is this one. This is what we call a full screen takeover. And so you can also create these full screen experiences for something you want to draw a lot of attention to. Perhaps you've got a screen that you just dedicate to those kind of advertisements as well. And it's incredibly customizable. So we'll show you the editor separately, but effectively just imagine Canva connected to your screen. Now, one of the last things we'll also show you is really from an operator point of view. Obviously, as we mentioned, the species being auto-created is very helpful for the operators, but also you can just tap up in the corner and this will open your staff access panel. And what this brings up is a whole array of functions for you to control the screen, but also what's on it. So some very simple ones, brightness and volume, if you need differences across screens, schedules, so turning the screen on and off. Perhaps you're setting schedules for certain campaigns that only last a period of time. Basic power functions. This is a big one, so species. So let's say we've just moved the meerkat out of the red lionfish display. I know the species mix is a bit odd here. You can simply remove that. You can add a new species, all very simple. Marketing, so you might come across to the screen and decide, I just want to quickly adjust what I'm displaying on this screen, or I think that annual pass, so I'm just going to take that off the screen now. Now, all of this is obviously controllable from a central system as well, so that can be via your phone in front of the screen, or maybe you just nip home and realize you need to change something, or you're sitting at the computer. So you've got, all the different choices on how you control it. But what we, in short, what we really wanted to set out here and do, because we used to be operators of an aquarium, was it had to be very user friendly as well. So we tried to really tick all the boxes that we know operators run into. So yeah, that's and then we've got just an issue log. So if there is ever any kind of issues or crashes, they can all be tracked as well, so that we can support and communicate any fixes needed. So thanks for watching, guys. That pretty much covers the overview of the screen itself. What we'll do in coming episodes is show you the mobile platform, which is a really big one, and we'll also show you the back end. So when you actually are setting up the site and adjusting species and staff members, everything like that.